Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Thursday. Hope it finds you well out there. It's been a super busy week. We had a big Texas meeting last night. Well attended. Crazy things. Well, you know what? I told you guys. I've been telling you. I'm going to continue to tell you. Right? This does happen to people. It does. And this is our turn if you want to get in. Records broken. Yesterday, the biggest signups ever in Texas history. Today's going to break that by a lot. I hope you guys are smart enough to say, hey, you know what? Let me take a shot at it. But enough of that. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. Yesterday, the Fed voted to cut interest rates 0.25 point. There was one dissenter. Fed Governor Murren. Remember, he replaced Fed Governor Kugler. Just got approved. He wanted 50 basis points. No surprise. Then we get the dot chart dot plot. You know, every other meeting you get that one. And that one was very interesting. There was 11. So there's a total, I guess, I'm sorry, I think it's 19 total that do this dot plot. Only 9 votes. But there's, because they rotate some members, but 19 of these private bankers were going to tell us what comes next. How many more rate cuts are we going to get? I will say that this is a bunch of BS. Matter of fact, you probably shouldn't even pay attention to it, but they make it a big deal. Here's how this went. 10 Fed governors, or the chair, the vice chair, right, dot plotted 2 more rate cuts this year. That was the good news. The bad news is 9 of them said this is the only cut. So it was a mixed bag, right? A mixed bag. No one really knows what to think, and for good reason. Listen, here's what I'm going to tell you. They're cutting rates. Whether it's now or next year, it's going to happen. How do I know this? Because Jay Powell's term ends in May. He's out. The 3 guys that they're considering to replace him are all on the news. They go out on the news every day and I want to cut rates. I think, just me, you're probably going to see 3 rate cuts this year, but I don't know that. Here's the problem, and this was very evident yesterday. Even the press kind of was like, this is not what you've been saying. What's going on? Jay Powell characterized this particular rate cut as, quote, risk management, saying there was slower growth and persistent inflation. See, that's maybe the worst kind of inflation, right? That's stagflation. So he called it risk management. They were happy about it on TV, right, which makes sense, right, because they care about equity prices. The outlook, like I said, remains very clouded. And I get why it is. See, here's what they know. All of these people that are voting and putting dots on a chart, right? They have no good choice. Right? They know for a fact that inflation is well above where they want it to be. They also know, I mean, the economy's not, okay, it's not great, right? But it's not bad, right? I don't know, when is the last time we're seeing rate cuts with stocks at all-time highs? That's not how it works. Rate cuts at all-time highs with inflation? Let's face it, I mean, honestly, if you think about, like, the last 3 months, inflation's been rocketing back up. But this where the problem lies, right? Has the Fed lost its independence? That answer, I think, is very simple. Yes. Is the Fed risking the credibility of the dollar by cutting rates? And the answer to that is yes. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Let's take a quick look at the market and see what we've got here. The Dow is up about 80 points, 46,000, right? Cutting rates at all-time highs, right? It's weird, right? It's weird, but that's the situation. And I told you this all along. The one good thing that we can say about at least the Trump administration is they have made it very, very clear. We have two choices. They both suck, right? Fix inflation. And remember, how many years now have I told you I already know when inflation will go away? I do. I know exactly when. Ready? When tens of millions of people lose their job. Period. That's when it's going to end. Period. And it hasn't happened. Now, I know the government's job data says, well, we're not hiring anybody. Okay. But jobless claims, we just got jobless claims today. Remember, we had that big spike up last week? It went away. Right back down to 230,000. Right back to where it was. So the economy, right, we're not really hiring, but we're not really firing. But the Trump administration has made it clear of our two crappy choices. Gosh, do we go into recession, depression, to get this under control, i.e. raise rates? Because up until right now, think about the Fed has been around now for over 110 years. Never, ever, ever have they decided we're going to lower rates while employment is good, right? The unemployment rate is still, 4.2, 4.3, which historically is really good. You know when they used to worry about the unemployment rate? 5%. Then they get a little nervous. And Stocks are at all-time highs, and inflation is way above what they say it should be. It's never happened. Why is it happening now? And the answer is, well, we just didn't like the alternative. So what are they going to do? They are going to devalue the dollar and continue to cut rates. They don't care about inflation. They pretend. Listen, Jay Powell tried to pretend yesterday. And believe me when I tell you, he pretended. And they want you to believe, look at the, hey, guys, look, we had a dot chart. We put dots on there. Right? And look, it was 10 to 9. Like, oh my gosh, we're really torn. We're really shook up. What a bunch of nonsense. Just tell us the truth. Hey, sorry, guys. We screwed up. We just got to keep cutting rates, and inflation's going to come back. It's already back. Sorry. Whoopsie. My mistake. That's what's going to happen. And I hope everyone's prepared. Now, here's the problem with that. The rest of the world is sitting there saying, wait a minute, why are you guys making us buy these bonds that we're going to end up essentially, think about this. Could you imagine? Let's just take a 5-year note. You want us to hold these bonds for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 30 years. And we know, listen, we're in with the fake stuff, right? We get that you're saying inflation is 3%. We all know it's not, but we get it. But now you're telling me you want me to buy this crap, and you're going to let inflation run wild. And by the time these bonds matured, I'm going to be buying way less stuff. Why do you think they're all buying gold? Why do you buy gold? You know, we had this meeting yesterday, and I said this to everybody. Listen, buying gold doesn't make you rich. Doesn't. Buying gold, buying silver keeps you rich. Especially now. And let's face it, gold's $3,600 plus dollars, right? You got to have money to be able to buy it. It keeps you that way. And that's what the rest of the world is seeing today. Rome is burning. Now, you don't see Rome burning. The TV, it doesn't tell you Rome is burning. The stock market certainly won't tell you it's burning. We know how the stock market operates. Right? Everything's fine, right? Let's roll out the head of Bear Stearns, and he'll tell everybody how great Bear Stearns is. And then 2 weeks later, whoops, I guess it wasn't so great. That's what's coming. But this is the worst kind, because it's not the stock market's fault. They're like, hey guys, they're sitting there going, look, we know what's coming. Let's keep buying stocks. And think about this rationally. The stock market is saying the same thing I'm saying. Why would you have any money in the bank? How dumb are you? That's what they're saying. How dumb can you be? How scared can you be? That's probably the better thing, right? Really. Because I look at whether it's Texit, buying gold. So some people say, Joe, gosh, I gotta hold it at my house. I'm scared about that. I get it. I mean, do people get robbed a lot? I mean, I know some people do. I mean, let's face it, getting robbed is not good. I don't know. It's never happened to me, but it's not good. But, yeah, think about it. I'm too scared to be responsible for it. You know, it's funny because I always say, gosh, $1 million. When I started, $1 million fit in a shoebox. Now I don't know how. It's pretty small. Let's just say that, pretty small. Where $1 million of gold will fit. Silver, on the other hand, that's still a lot of silver. But this is what happened yesterday. They came out, lied, and everyone knew they were lying. They can't admit it, right? They can't admit it. But look at the 10-year note today. 412. I remember we're talking about, is it going to go below 4%? No. The Fed's funds rate's between 4 and 4.25, and according to the dot plot, they're going to lower it 2 more times. And the 10-year note said, yeah, we don't believe you. We don't believe it. We're not really sure if the rest of the world will even believe your story. Now, on the good news, gold, we got some profit taking finally. I don't know if it'll last. But gold's 36.40. It's been got right to 3,700. I want to see a new higher low. Right now, we're looking at 36.30 right now. I'd like to see 3,600. Even 35.75. I don't know that we will. But honestly, right now, gold should probably be down $50, $60 based on this dot plot nonsense. And you should have just heard Jay Powell. Just nonsense. Because he had no good answer. Right? He had no good answer. What happened? Well, they pressured us into it, right? we got bullied into doing something that we know is actually. But when does that ever stop these guys? It's never stopped them. I don't care about doing right by the economy. I don't care about doing right about the average person. You know what? Why is it? Think about this. For the last, 30 years? Why is it the middle class is shrinking in the U.S.? Why is it the middle class is shrinking and yet stocks are at all-time highs? Interesting. Why is it that the middle class is shrinking? Inflation has been running now for how many years? What are we on, year 4, year 5? And every time they tell us, well, eventually, it'll go back to 2%. When's eventually? 5 years, 10 years? It's already been like 5 years. Right? Are we at eventually yet? And the answer is no. No, we're not at eventually. It's crazy. It's crazy that they come out and get away with this, and we say nothing. What can we say? Right? Let me turn on Fox and let me turn on CNBC, and let me hear them tell me why this is so great. Of course, if you're watching those channels, probably means that, well, I'm still at least in the middle class. How many of you don't even watch it, right? Because it's nonsense. I can't watch it anymore. I try so hard. I used to be a junkie on this stuff. And now I can't, I'll be honest. I don't know the last time I watched CNBC. I don't know. Oh, Fox, I don't. They're not telling the truth. Now, their job is to promote stock, sure. Right? Gaslight everybody. Aren't we sick of getting gaslighted? I'm so sick of it. So sick of this political BS that's out there. So sick of all this, these crazy freaking freaks running around. And I'm sick of these bankers just sticking it right in our backside, and we just take it. We'll be back. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour on this Thursday. $20 gold pieces, $37.75 on $20 gold pieces. If you buy 10 or more, $37.50 at 800-951-0592. That is the number you call. I do have, still have some 2025 Silver Eagles. They're down, they're $10 cheaper today at $985. $985. 800-951-0592. And we're talking about, it really is criminal. No one wants to say that like this because we all want to believe that this private bank, you know, they put up this, oh, we care about the average guy out there. Do they? See, they told us you can't have gold as your monetary system, right? Because why? Well, gosh, we can't go into debt. Right? I mean, honestly, that was the reason. Right? We want to charge everybody interest. And what did they say? Well, they said, well, gosh, you know, when we screw up, because let me ask you this, how do bad times really come? Right? How did the Great Depression come about? How did the market meltdown of 1907 come about? How always the same, bankers behaving badly, period. Bankers behaving badly. And then we decided, hey, I got a great idea. Let's let the bankers be in charge. Right? And of course, creature from Jekyll Island, as I tell you, it was the greatest coup maybe of all time. You know, you think about coups and people overthrowing the government and they march in the streets and all that stuff. None of that happened. Right? None of that happened. Matter of fact, most Americans didn't even know what happened. And then, of course, we put them in power in 1913. Took them 20 years to take the gold away. Of course, you got to remember, right? You can imagine, oh, no, don't worry. We're gonna put these guys in charge, so we'll stop the banks from behaving badly. That's what we're going to do. Yeah. Okay. We got it. But just in case there's a problem, we'll come to the rescue. Yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, who doesn't want that? Right? Who doesn't want that? Everybody wants that. Oh my gosh, I got a problem. Somebody ride to the rescue. Right? Yeah. They're Batman. They're the Lone Ranger, right? They're the financial superhero, right? And these, it's like the Hall of Justice, right? Of course, they had no intentions of actually being the superhero. It's just the opposite. This was maybe the greatest con job of all time. Seriously. What did they really champion? Debt and interest. That's all they cared about. And yesterday was a prime example of what it is that I'm talking about. They know they shouldn't have done it, but they did it anyway. And guess what? They're going to do it again and again and again. And they're going to say, well, we're doing it for you. And then you sit there and think about, my gosh, why is everything so damn expensive? Why is my power bill so expensive? Why is my insurance bill so expensive? Wait till you get your medical bills. Wait till you get your insurance. If you already haven't. My wife and I, because our kids aren't on our insurance, they got their own insurance. So thankful for that. We made the courageous decision to go Jason. When our insurance company notified us of our new monthly premium for our absolutely god-awful crappy insurance, and believe me, it was god-awful crappy, $1,500 a month. We made that courageous decision. Nah, we'll risk it. Thanks, but no. I think technically we may be breaking a rule, right? I don't know, but yeah, Jason, we
what rule though?
This is how
whose rule are you breaking if you don't have insurance? I mean, I'm trying to figure that out.
But aren't they supposed? Everyone's got to have insurance, right?
Oh no, well, okay. So if, I can give you my experience. So when Obamacare first came out, the first couple of tax years, I was still going to H&R Block, and they did ask me the question. And then I said, no insurance. And then they tried to put me into it. And I said, well, how much does it cost? And then they showed me the deductible. And I was like, okay, so you want me to pay less with the Obamacare, but the deductible is going to be, I think it was ridiculous, $15,000 or something. I was like, so I need to spend $10,000 or $15,000 a year in medical costs before the Obamacare helps me? And they're like, yeah. I was like, okay, what's that little penalty? That's $300? Okay. So I popped in the $300 penalty. And that lasted for like 2 years, 3 years, and then it went away.
Okay.
No more penalty.
So no more penalty.
No more penalty for choosing. So it didn't nothing. So,
but here's my point. I do well. My wife and I do well, and even we are like, are you kidding me? No. How can this be America today? I can't imagine somebody, if you're making less than $100,000 a year, how you can do this. What happened to being middle class? It's gone. 800-951-0592. $20 gold pieces. 1 through 9, $37.75. 10 or more, $37.50. 2025 Silver Eagles got like 10 rolls left. $985 at 800-951-0592. You know, and we're talking about what's happened. You know, it's bad enough that a $20 gold piece bought you the same amount of stuff in 1840 and 1850 and 1880 and 1890, 1900, 1910. You know, we went through this huge period of no inflation, financial, how do you call it? I guess a financial responsible government. We had no income tax. Why is that important? We didn't have FICA tax, payroll tax. We didn't have that. None of that. Do you think it's possible, I don't know, call me crazy, that with a very small government that rewarded people's work led to us becoming the biggest superpower of our time? I don't know. I think that's possible. Sounds like it. Sounds like it. You know, you read in your textbooks, oh, everybody came to America, you know, escape religious prosecution. Right? That's what we get taught. No, I'm not saying that wasn't one of the reasons. Right? But really, what were they getting away from? The oppression of the kings and the queens, right? Tired of giving them our hard-earned labor. Look at where we're at today. Aren't we doing the same thing? Now, we don't call them king and queen, right? No, we use the word democracy. We are not a democracy. We are a republic. What does that mean? We don't fall for mob rule. And the king and the queen, these bankers that want to continue to take money out of your pocket and then act like they're not doing it. You know, maybe that was the bad part, right, Jason? That was probably the downfall of the kings and the queens, right? Because what would they do? They'd go to your village, right, and take your grain or take your gold, right? And you knew they took it, right? They rode in with their horses and their swords and their bow, and you knew they took it. The way they got it set up, Jason, most people don't even know who's taking it from them, right? They get mad at Walmart or Kroger, right? They don't even know who to be mad at for the price. You know, I'm mad at the president, right? For inflation. I'm mad at this guy. No, God, they don't even know that it's happening. And you know what? It was okay at first, right? I guess kind of okay, right? Oh, it's only 1%. The income tax is only 1%. What are you paying now? Right? Especially if you have some success. Third, and if you live in the wrong state, right, jack that up even more, right? Really? And we take it. And we think it's okay. And I think the part that bothers me the most, Jason, we have so many Americans begging for more of this. Right? We are now, 12 days away from a government shutdown because they can't figure out a budget. And why can't they figure out the budget? Well, the Democrats are saying, well, wait a minute, guys. We got to give out more stuff. Look how expensive. Look at what the insurance rates are going to do. Obamacare premiums are going to go up 75%. We can't let that happen. Remember when Obamacare came out? Do you remember? What did they tell us? Oh, my God, it's going to be great. Everyone's going to have insurance, and somehow, miraculously, it's going to go down. Right? What kind of nonsense was it?
And as I said last segment, the first time that I got my taxes done, I did the numbers, and it was worse. I was better off doing no insurance.
Yeah, well, guess what? Here I am. Now, think about this. Remember free trade? NAFTA and GATT? Oh, my gosh, it's going to be great. It's going to be so great. We don't want those jobs anyway. And here's the real reason. Ready? We can print a whole bunch of money, and it won't be inflationary because they'll make all the cheap crap. And that worked for a little while, didn't it? Now think about today. Wait a minute. We want those jobs back, and we want them here, and that cheap crap, yeah, we can't have it. We got to make it more expensive. They just keep gaslighting you. Get your gold and silver put away. Just telling you. And by the way, if you haven't signed up for Texit, what are you thinking? Honestly. Final segment here, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason wrapping up. What a crazy week. Wrapping up this Thursday. $20 gold pieces, $37.75. 20 or more, $37.50. 2025 U.S. Silver Eagles, $985. And then, of course, look at what we've been talking about. Do you not understand how much more income you're really going to need? I don't think people do. The opportunity to change lives. So many people, gosh, yesterday, it was amazing. People don't know what to do. And remember, I told you, be ready for it to change your life. $9.95 gets you a seat on the rocket ship, right? 27 seats, the maximum you can buy. Look at the what is it? Somewhere between, $6 and $7 today, right? Remember when we first told you about it, 50 cents? Listen, I don't know where it's going to be, but I feel like hundreds a layup. I do. Don't be afraid to take a chance. And I know, you know what? A lot of people that are business owners, we're used to doing that, right? Hey, I'm going to bet on me. But a lot of other people are like, I'm just so scared to do anything. I'll just do what they say, right? They tell me to get into a 401k and just leave it in there and blah, blah, and hope it all works out. Listen, I'm all for that. If you can't afford $995, that's different. I get that, right? But if you can afford to take an opportunity, I hope you guys take this one. I really do. I think like 9-packs are just the way to go because a 9-pack guarantees you over a coin a day when the mine is full. By the way, the mine, holy smoke, did you see it? Yesterday, new record. Almost 700 miners signed up today. Guess what? We're almost at 400 miners, and it's not even 9 o'clock in Arizona.
Yeah, it's going to sell fast.
It's going to be 1,000 miners a day on this thing. I said yesterday, we're not making it to February. The opportunity to change your life ends when the mine is full. Now, you can still make money buying and selling coins. But to be a miner, to guarantee some income as you get older. I had several people come up to me and say, Joe, I've been so worried about my retirement. And this could actually put me at ease now. I'll be able to enjoy it because, heck, if this thing just goes to $10, I'm going to have it okay, right? But I don't know. It's hard. I think, Jason, a lot of people think that it can't be true. It doesn't happen this way. Listen, it absolutely happened this way with Bitcoin. It did. People didn't know about it. Now that they do, what did the bankers do? The bankers made sure you could never do it again. Well, we're doing it again, Jason.
Something that's easier for people to understand. I don't like stock. I'm not into stock. And I know you can make a lot of money doing stock. But a lot of people became millionaires and billionaires on Apple stock, on IBM stock, on Netflix stock. I mean, look what happened a couple of years ago. Hello Kitty, or whatever his name was. Angry Kitty, whatever that guy was, on GameStop, stopping all the big guys from their shorts, right, Joe? It happens.
Right.
It happens.
It can happen to you. Just call us, 800-951-0592. Jason and I coming back.